Welcome to the Business Shop Podcast, where our guests speak on meeting the challenges of entrepreneurship, as well as offer tips and advice on business, marketing, technology, and more. Whether you are a newbie or a seasoned professional, this episode is for you. I am your host, Audrey Wiggins. Let's chop it up. Chop Squad, our guest today is a passionate, well-rounded individual. He loves God, people, business, and politics. Philip Blackett is an author, consultant, and entrepreneur who previously has worked for FedEx, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, and Chick-fil-A. He got his Master's of Divinity degree from the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary, his MBA from Harvard Business School, and his bachelor's degree majoring in political science and economics from the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. But we're going to hear a little bit more about Philip on the other side of this message. July 27th is National Love is Kind Day. Show some love through your business. Nurture it, grow it, and watch it flourish. Register now for Elevating the You in Entrepreneur Summit. Learn more at bit.ly/elevate the letter U July 2024. bit.ly/elevate the letter U July 2024. We're back. More about Philip. Philip helps small business owners and entrepreneurs adopt and include artificial intelligence, or our famous AI, to help them grow their sales, profits, and exit value through his dream business makeovers. Philip has previously been featured in Business Insider, Entrepreneur Magazine, Forbes, and LinkedIn, as well as a number of podcasts. So we're grateful and honored to have him with us today. When Philip is not fulfilling his purpose to grow God's people, grow God's businesses, and grow God's kingdom, he enjoys reading, cheering on his Tar Heels, and raising his twin daughters with his wife, Myra. Philip Blackett, welcome to the Business Chop.
Thank you so much, Audrey. Happy to be here with you.
Great. Before we get started, Philip, we always like to go through those fun facts, things that maybe all of us wouldn't know about you. So go ahead and share a little bit about that with us.
Sure, absolutely. So for me, I love cheering on my Tar Heels. So definitely it's like the mascot where I went to college and that sort. As you mentioned before, I'm the father of twin daughters, Sophie and Elizabeth. They're both 7 years old. And, for me, I think, fun things for me at my age and at the stage where I'm at is enjoying quality time with my family. As they grow up, in particular, now that they're 7, now that's an age that for them, they're going to remember things. And more than likely, more than anything else, I really want it to be like memories that they're going to think about with like fondness, excitement, and nostalgia. And so I think for me, like the fun things for me is just trying to be a good dad, a fun dad, and a fun husband as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've been married for 8 years so far?
8 years coming up in next 10 days or so.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Very timely.
Yeah, really. Congratulations and happy anniversary in advance.
Thank you.
So you also have a degree in divinity, so you're a pastor?
So technically not a pastor. I do have a Master of Divinity degree where I can become a pastor.
Okay.
Just haven't gone around to where that next stage of life will be, where God wants me to be. But definitely have the flexibility and the ability to, because I can preach.
Yeah, I know that's right. Oh, gosh, you can break down a word, huh?
Absolutely. I love to do that.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, because so these are, things that, of our foundation that builds up who we are. You're also, like politics and getting involved there. Your education, supports all of it. Actually, what you're doing. So even if you want to, delve into that, how does that round you out as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, because I think the big thing, Audrey, is that, we can't fail to recognize that when we're doing a job, we're running a business, we're raising a family, there are people involved.
Yeah.
And so each person has their own story, background, quirks, traits about them and that sort, that if you're really coming about it from a whole person mentality, to your point, that's what makes them who they are.
Mhm.
and how they best relate, how they best lead, how they best get the job done. A lot of times is relating back to what makes them who they are.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I know you wrote the book Disagree Without Disrespect, How to Respectfully Debate with Those Who Think, Believe, and Vote Differently from You. Now, we may not always be in a debate, but just in conversation, going back to what you just said of, of working with different people, different minds, not like minds, but still we come together because maybe our skills and talents bring us together to produce, a product or service. So is that required reading for folks that you come in contact with?
I'd be honored if it was. But I guess like instead of calling it required reading, I would love for it to be like um desired reading.
Okay.
Right? Because one thing, like if we've all been in school before where we've had that reading assignment that we had to do, we didn't want to do.
Mhm.
So you just kind of went through it just to get credit and move on. Definitely don't want that sort of take on my book in particular. I want it to be something where people see enough value in it that's worth their time reading
Yeah.
and sharing with others, and more so not just because it's a good read, but hopefully it's something where it's like there's nuggets in there, there's a framework in there, there's things that you can learn that you can apply to your ongoing relationships, whether it's relationships at home with your family, at work in the workplace, place of worship, or even at, I don't know, like a Cleveland Cavaliers game.
Oh, you had to bring the calves up. Okay, okay.
I mean, it helps to have Cleveland in your background. That made me think about, okay, we could talk about Cleveland Cavaliers, we can talk about the Cleveland Browns. I know it's close to the football season. Well,
Yeah.
we're still in the NBA playoffs. It's just that, some teams aren't playing still. That's all. We'll just leave it at that. So maybe we can look forward to Cleveland Browns season
Right,
now,
right.
as opposed to, the other sports team in,
Oh,
in
gosh.
Cleveland.
Yeah. Oh, Lord have mercy. Yes, for sure. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna ever talk about business in this interview or not. Because now you added something else in there. You have God, religion, politics. Now you got sports teams. I don't know. And you want me to be able to, respect, and debate respectfully. Oh my goodness.
I I mean that's what makes it beautiful, Audrey, because you're dealing with two people that are getting to know each other, and hopefully
Mhm.
that there's a relationship being built that when it comes to business, once again, this is not something that you feel like, oh man, I have to work with Philip. It's like hopefully
Right.
like, man, I really enjoyed my time with Philip. I would love to see how we can work together.
Yep, absolutely. I love it. All right, so let's get a little just a little bit deeper into because we do go through different things in life, and so a couple of things I've gone through. You mentioned it in your introduction here, as far as the questioning goes. I wanted to know what are those three words that spiritually carried you through foreclosure, heartbreak, unemployment, without throwing in the towel and committing suicide, because we're at a time where this is prevalent. I mean, that's the way out. That's the way to clean it up and get rid of it, is just to end it all. But it actually is not.
Yeah, it's one that when I was growing up, Audrey, it's
Mhm.
I was very much into video games. And what tended to be the case is that if the game wasn't playing out the way you were hoping it would, there's a button on there called the reset button.
Okay.
And you just push the reset button, you try again. Or if you're playing against a friend of yours and you're getting embarrassed, maybe because you're playing basketball and your team's losing by a pretty big margin, you just go ahead and turn off the game, take your controller, and you go home. Now
It's my
one
game.
now one might be more friendlier or mature than the other, but nevertheless, we all had moments where we wanted to restart or reset things when things
Yes.
weren't going our way. But to answer your question, Audrey, like I think that the three words to answer the question um, are the same three words my wife would pray over me when I was going through a really tough time that I was looking for relief, even if it was something that I felt like was short-term relief
Hmm.
but clearly would have long-term consequences. And those three words was simply God will provide.
Yes.
And so if I could just remind myself of that, even though I've been through a lot of tough moments where I felt like things just couldn't get any worse, or moments where I did not want to wake up and start another day because it might be more of the same of what I didn't like the day before. It's just trusting that there's something beyond myself at work here. Someone that doesn't sleep, somebody that is good through and through, someone that is faithful, someone that loves me unconditionally.
Yes.
And to have that thought that, he is worth living, or as my grandmother would teach me, because he lives, I
Mm.
can face tomorrow.
Yes. Yes.
Because he lives, all fear is gone.
Hmm.
Because I know, he holds the future.
Yeah.
Life is worth the living just
Just because he lives. Yes.
because he lives. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
All
three
right, we
words
can
there
go on and
too.
start
So
singing. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we're not gonna get to business at all. We're just gonna go ahead in the gospel fest at this point. We just
Okay. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs to sing. Oh my goodness, it is a great reminder. And because being an entrepreneur, even just being an employee sometimes and trying to, move up the ladder, it can be a challenge. And things happen to us that, that are unfair, or things just happen because maybe we've made some mistakes, or, just life, or just a lesson that we're chosen so somebody else can gain the wisdom on the other side. And so I'm glad that that you kept pushing through, and the same here for me, that we're here to have this conversation for sure.
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. So we've built our foundation. We're just people in business for business, and let's just go. Let's just jump right into it. There's a lot of stuff here. I know you're into technology, the artificial intelligence in particular, and those are things that we really need to pay attention to. As well. So as business owners or entrepreneurs, let's just say. Yeah. So if you want to go ahead and tell us a little bit about that, how just normal people working every day can utilize artificial intelligence to future-proof our jobs and careers.
Yeah, it's a great question, Audrey. I think part of it is one, recognizing what's in front of us.
Mhm.
And this new thing called AI, it's not going anywhere. This is not a fad. This is not something that's going to be here today, gone tomorrow. This is this generation's dial-up internet. This
Yeah.
is this generation's actual rotary telephone. This is this generation's steam engine,
Wow.
or
Yeah.
automobile. So, if you look at it from all those levels of technology, even this generation's electricity, right?
Hmm.
There's a number of common elements that come out of this, Audrey. One is, yes, it's brand new, which can be a little daunting, a little frightening, because we often fear what we don't fully understand.
Right.
Um, Two, we recognize at some point that this is not going anywhere. So it probably helps if we learn what this is and how we can apply it in our own lives. And then three, the other part of it, the flip side of it is if we don't take the time to learn of it, if we decide, hey, we're not going to drive automobiles, we're going to keep riding horses and carriages, or we're not going to get on a plane, we're just going to take, hitchhike our way from Cleveland to Boston. Um, if we don't take advantage of what's in front of us, at least to learn and figure out how to apply it in our lives, we run the risk of being left behind.
Hmm.
And so I think about normal people, employees to entrepreneurs. AI is something that can serve both parties. It just depends on how it can. But first off, you have to understand that this is an opportunity to help further what you're doing in regards to your job and career, not a threat. Because I think one of the things I learned from a CEO from a company called NVIDIA that once said, it's not AI that's going to take your job. It's the person that knows AI that's going to take your job. So it's not even like you can give a pitchfork to technology altogether and say, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
you're evil. No, it's the fact that, listen, everyone has a choice. Okay, there's new technology. You can learn it. You can see how it can apply to your job, in particular, how it can make you more productive. Maybe some things you didn't like doing or you didn't do as well, that maybe you find the right tool that can help do it just as good, if not better, and maybe at a fraction of the time. That frees up a lot on your schedule to take on higher level tasks that a human like us can do better than AI, or things that we always kept saying to our boss, hey, I just don't have the time. I just can't. You know what? If I just had another couple hours, I would definitely get to that. And now your boss is like, oh, well, now you got those hours. Oh, well, I'm expecting you to get that stuff done for me. All right.
Oh God, what did I say?
And let me take the foot out of my mouth now.
Right, exactly. Missing a couple of toes.
Absolutely. So I think the big thing is, how do we approach it and be proactive to figure out, okay, how can I integrate this with what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis? All the jobs I do on a day-to-day basis at my job, what are things that I absolutely can do and must do myself, and no one else can do it as well as I can, that has to get done by me. And then the other category, the other bucket, is what are the jobs or things that I do that AI could do,
Mm,
that I could outsource to AI, that could do it, and it would take me maybe 4 hours, but maybe for AI it might take 4 minutes.
right. You had a key word in there. You said you used the word outsource to AI versus make AI do it or have AI. And I think that's a key word for me, because sometimes we outsource or delegate either of those words to I don't know, maybe it's an intern or another staffer. So that I just wanted to point that out to make sure people heard what you said there.
Oh yeah, of course, because
Mhm.
outsource was a naughty word years ago,
Mhm.
right? Because if you
Yeah.
think about outsource back then, it was sort of thinking like, oh, instead of having somebody in Cleveland do this job, I'm going to have someone in like India
Mm.
do it while we're asleep, and they'll do it at a fraction of the cost. Like if I'm being paid $20 an hour, we can have someone in India do it for like $5 an hour. This sense of giving it to another human being, and the
Hmm.
savings was more so, oh, okay, that would cost them less because they're asking for less money than the other person here, or they would do it at a different time zone. That, hey, I'm not going to have Audrey working at 2 o'clock in the morning, so I'm going to have somebody that Audrey's 2 o'clock in the morning might be 9 o'clock in the morning, so it's within work hours. I just have it outsourced to another country. But now the difference is, with AI, it's something that AI doesn't call in sick. AI doesn't take vacations. AI doesn't wake up one day, Audrey, and say, you know what, Monday morning, I really feel like I'm staying at
I
home.
need a break.
I need a break. How much PTO do I have here?
Right.
I think I'm coming up with a cough here. So AI doesn't have any of those elements to it, and it's constantly getting better. So even to the point you're saying, Audrey, like, if you're outsourcing it to an intern, the intern may have a portion of the type of experience and skill set you have, and you're hoping that that person's level of inexperience doesn't show up in the competency to do the job. As opposed to AI, it's, oh my gosh, like when I woke up this morning, AI actually got better.
Right. Yeah.
And tomorrow is going to get even better than that, because it keeps growing, it keeps learning, it keeps adjusting and adapting.
Mhm.
um so now it's like, over time, I'm just going to get better working with AI than working without it.
Mhm.
So it's really about having that right growth mindset with regards to AI, to say, listen, let me learn it, let me figure out how to apply it, let me also continue to invest in my own professional development as far as where AI can go. And maybe you can position yourself in a way as not only, hey, I'm a success story because it's helping me out in my job, in my career in this way. And now I can be able to share with other people on my team how AI can help them, so that they're saving time as well as I am. And our work product is even better than it was before. And so now collectively, we're all doing well as a team. And now you're positioning yourself as, okay, Audrey, she's not just a tech diva. She's a thought leader. She's on the cusp of AI and where it's going. We got to keep her. We got to promote her. We got to have her involved with where we're trying to grow as a company. Mm-hmm. And so that's where you start to future-proof your job or career, because now, as long as you continue to grow and learn with AI, maybe not at the same rate as AI, but you make a commitment to learn how you can utilize AI to be better each day, each week, each year, and help others do the same. That's where you start to really build your personal brand as somebody that companies can fight over to have on their team. Yeah. And that's where the concern about, oh, there's layoffs today, you're probably more at ease thinking they're probably not going to let me go, because they know if they let me go, the competition already is going to be fighting and busting down doors for me to come work with them.
Now, Philip, you talk about a core four for dream business growth for entrepreneurs. Talk about that.
Absolutely. So when I think about dream business growth, and if I could just take a step back, part of what I think about when it comes to growing businesses is that everybody who has a business, when they start a business and they're building it, they have a vision on where they want their business to be. Maybe it's a certain revenue number, a certain profit number. Maybe it's a number of employees. Maybe it's us being from a local storefront down the corner to now, like, oh my gosh, we're multinational, or we're, publicly traded on the stock exchange. Everyone has visions and dreams, right?
Right.
And then something called life happens. As you start building it. You start having certain fires you got to put off, certain things you weren't expecting that blindside you, certain things, certain people you were thinking were going to be there for the long run, but all of a sudden they got pulled away by somebody else because they pay $1 or $2 more an hour. And you just weren't at that time able to afford that. But now I'm missing a key person, and now I got to adjust from there. So basically, it's trying to help people stay on task to get to where they ultimately dream their business to be before life happened. And part of that is thinking about the core four dream business growth, where two of those core four, most people in business are very well aware of. And I actually alluded to it earlier. Two of the first core four is grow sales, so your revenue.
Okay.
You can grow profits, your bottom line. That's pretty straightforward for a lot of business owners. I get that. The other two may not be top of mind, though, for a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs, because it's more looking longer term than just this fiscal year that you're in. The third one is grow via M&A, or mergers and acquisitions. So you can grow your business organically from what you're doing within your business in 1 year. There's another aspect of growth that's inorganic, meaning if I wanted to grow my company from 1 million to 2 million, I could figure out a way how to grow our business to do that just ourselves. Or another way of looking at it is, if my business is at 1 million in sales, is there a complementary business that I could buy that has 1 million in sales too? So I combine those two together, and now I got 2 million in sales, and I didn't have to do anything different in my own business.
That's awesome.
So it's like a different way of looking at it, whether just, from revenue or any other way of trying to improve, as far as like, do you want to build your way to improving your business that way? Do you want to borrow from somebody else to get that sort of capacity or that sort of skill set or that sort of, advantage you want from your competition? Or do you buy it? And so that's where the mergers and acquisitions come from. And then the fourth one, as far as the core four, is growing exit value. So for a lot of business owners, part of that dream they want to be able to obtain or achieve is they want to grow the business to a certain point where they have this huge exit, this multi-million-dollar or multi-billion-dollar maybe exit somewhere where they can ride off in the sunset.
Yes.
And, in their Rolls Royce or their private jet or whatever, thing they want to be able to write off in. Well, that means you have to build your business towards selling it at some point to somebody that sees it as valuable enough to trade the money you want for the business they want. So essentially, it's how do we grow the value of that business to the point where if you want a certain number, that we can find people that see enough value in your business to be willing to trade that number you want for the value they want.
That's powerful. Definitely. Yeah, because, and I think most of us don't really think about that as far as selling our business. We think of, I don't even think sometimes we even think about, I'm going to never retire, but at some point we will. We're going to have to. We just won't be able to, to go on. Um, and so the time is now, or when is the time that we really should be thinking about that last core four, about the valuation of our business, or just having an exit plan, period, before we even think about what the value is. Just, what point are we going to have that on a calendar so, that it tickles our memory. Okay, it's time for us to start thinking about an exit plan here.
Yeah. And the thing about it too, Audrey, is arguably the worst time to think about that is when you're ready to sell. Because now you got all the logistics of trying to sell a business, but now you're also thinking, how do I get my business to a certain value? And then feelings can get hurt later on down the line when you're wanting X for your business and you start marketing it to people that potentially will buy. And they say, no, your business is not worth X. Your business at this point is worth about 50% of X.
Oh boy.
So the best time to think about exit value or growing that exit value is actually, if it wasn't yesterday, it's today. So even if you're thinking about selling your business 2 years down the line, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, there's elements to that planning and executing to help get you little steps towards what you want to do. It's almost in a sense where it's like you're thinking about, raising a young child to be a young man or woman at 18. You can't rush the 18 years for that person to be 18. The 18 years is going to happen one way or the other, though.
Right.
And your child's going to be out of the house. The challenge is more so, what do you
they're
do?
going to be out of the house.
That's a good point, too. You're right, Audrey. Absolutely. To your point as well, what do we do during those 18 years to prepare him or her for what we're already seeing as coming down the pipeline in 18 years, right? So as a father, for me, for example, I have 7 years with my kids so far. My goal is that 11 years from now, see you later. But I can't just wait on my tail for 11 years from now. The point is, okay, it's coming.
Yeah. Yes.
So 11, I can't be crying all of a sudden when 18 years come around. You say, I wish I had more time and I wish I could do that. No, it's coming at some point. So what do you do in the meantime as far as developing, raising those kids and enjoying the process as far as like being a great father or mother and those type of memories you hope that they'll have and nostalgia with a smile on their face post 18 years. So you have to do the work leading up to it. And I think it's a very similar parallel when it comes to your business. If you want to sell it at some point in time, okay, what can we start doing day by day, this month, next month, the following month, this year, the following year, to get it to where you're ready to sell, you're already prepared, and you're at a place where you can confidently sell it for at least the amount that you want so you can write off in the distance however way you want to.
Awesome. That's amazing. Now, Philip, how can we get in touch with you?
Absolutely. The best way is, I'm on social media. LinkedIn is my social media platform of choice. So just look up Philip Blackett on LinkedIn. Also have my website, philipblackett.com. That's more of my personal website, but for those that are looking to figure out how they can adopt and master AI into their own businesses in regards to a dream business makeover that I do for my clients, you can head over to my other website called dreambusinessmakeover.com.
All right. And what will we find when we get there?
So what you'll find there is essentially you'll see a video that really introduces this new frontier that we're in business called AI and
Oh,
what the possibilities are, just to really help you see where the future is so we can start having a conversation on how you want to engage with that.
okay.
And what I offer is basically be able to have a conversation with you where I can kind of demonstrate where AI is going, how your business can be evolved there, what a dream business makeover may look like, to see if it may make sense for us to work together. And as a thank you for having the opportunity to get to know you better and your business, see if we're a good fit, offering one of my books, The Unfair Advantage, that talks about how to adopt AI into your business to grow your sales, outsmart your competition, and build your dream business without breaking the bank. Offer that book for free, just for you taking the time to watch the video and
Mhm.
schedule some time for me to see how I can be of help to you. So
Great.
dreambusinessmakeover.com is where you can head over there and be
Yes.
able to access all of that.
Okay, that's great. So Chop Squad, definitely head over to Philip Blackett's personal website and also the Dream Business Makeover, and be sure to get that the book Unfair Advantage as well, so you can get your free strategy session. Philip, as always, I love to close out with a nugget or two from our guests. So if you would please drop them on us.
So certain, like, I think the biggest thing here when you think about business, Audrey, is, you know, the main constant about business and in life in general is change. And there's always going to be something new that we're going to have to grasp for, something different that we weren't expecting, that we now have to be more resilient to bounce back off of, and that sort. The biggest thing I would say is, listen, be thankful you have another day to go at it and figure out how to adapt to what's in front of you while also preparing yourself to grow to what you want to be when your business grows up, as well as you continue to grow up into who God wants you to be.
Great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time today, Philip. And again, Chop Squad, you definitely need to plug in and connect with Philip Blackett. Thanks, Philip.
Thank you so much for having me, Audrey.
Thank you for listening to The Business Shop. We hope that you were able to glean valuable information from our guests and that you will download and share this podcast. Your rating and review is much appreciated. To go deeper with our guests, please visit their website and social channels. To learn more about us, please visit businessshop.info or altogether.biz, where we will help you expand your brand.